guys, this is my leg workout from April 23rd. And first up we have leg extensions. And a lot of times I like to do leg extensions first to get my legs warmed up, get the blood flowing in them. And I did 2 sets of 25 pounds, 15 reps. And I just went light. This was my second leg workout in about a year, I guess. My first leg workout, I just did a little bit. This is my second leg workout. And I just took it easy just to see how my knee would do. And I did more on this leg workout than I did the first leg workout. I just wanted to stay light and stay focused, make sure I didn't push my knee too hard. And I got a really good pump from it. I was happy with this workout. And I stretched a lot in between sets. And this is a really good stretch for your quads. And I don't know if it works for me because I'm short. I don't know how this would work with somebody taller. But for me, it's actually perfect height. And the second set, again, 25 pounds, 15 reps. And I was just really trying to get inside the muscle and push from inside the muscle. Just because I wasn't going real heavy, I just wanted to really get in there inside my body and inside the muscle and really make it deliberate and focused, so I would get more out of it, especially since I was using a lighter weight. And sometimes I see people do these and they don't hold on to the handles. I like to hold on to the handles because I think it stabilizes your body more, so you can make it more focused. It makes it where you have less moving parts. So if you can kind of lock your body in by holding the handles, and for me, it kind of makes me lean forward again. I like to kind of lean forward into it because it helps to engage your core. And when you have your core engaged, that connects your upper body and lower body and makes you whole. And that actually, for me, it helps me to get inside my body and to get that mind-muscle connection. And it's like the mind-body connection seems like it's come back pretty quick. So I'm happy with that. I think that's that muscle memory thing. And next up was leg press. And you want to make sure, for me, I have to put the seat all the way forward and I have to use pads to make it to where I get a good range of motion, but you kind of want to feel squished when you get in there. And this was a superset, close stance leg press supersetted with stationary pop squats. First set here is 30 pounds, 20 reps. And when you get in, it's like you kind of feel squished, and you want to feel squished because that way you get a deep range of motion. And the deeper you can go on anything like this for legs, whether it's leg press, squats, lunges, the deeper you go, the more of the leg you work. You work more of the whole leg, not just the quads. The quads is just mostly off the top part, but when you get to where you're sinking your butt down deep, then you really pull in your glutes and your hamstrings. So I like to put the pads behind me so I just can get a lot deeper that way. And this is close stance. This focuses on your outer thigh a little bit more, and because you're going deep, you're going to really pull in your glutes too. And I started off light. 30 pounds on this machine is fairly light, but like I said, I just didn't want to push my knee. I wanted to see what it could take and see how I felt the next day before I started, really pushing it hard. And so far, Let's see, I started working out on April 20th, and this is May 12th that I'm recording this here. So I've had a few workouts since this workout, and so far my knee has felt really good, and I can feel that I'm getting stronger and that I'm able to push myself a little bit more, and it feels really good. You know, when I first started back, my hip was hurting, my body was starting to feel stiff, my shoulder didn't feel good, my knee felt still a little bit unstable, but now that I've actually started to work my body, move my body again, my stiffness has gone away, and my body feels a lot better. I just feel stronger. My knee feels more stable, and I don't worry about it so much now. So working out really does wonders, making good food choices. And I think this was the second set. And I went up 5 pounds on this one just to see. And the next set, the last two sets, I went up to 50. I made a little bit bigger jump because everything seemed okay. So when you're doing these two, it's important to pay attention where the weight is on the bottom of your foot. You know, especially if you have knee problems, you don't want to let that weight shift to your toes, because I think that puts more pressure on your knees. So I kind of think of more of an even pressure on the bottom of my foot, with the weight maybe back a little bit more towards the heel. You know, if you really put your focus, I think all this has to do with your focus and where you put your focus as to what you're going to get out of it and what you're going to feel. If you put your focus on pushing up from your heels, you're probably going to feel your butt a little bit more. Or if you want to feel your butt a little bit more, put your focus on your heels and driving up from your heels, and that'll help you to flex your glutes. I try to put my focus more on the bottom of my foot, the whole foot, so I'm feeling every part of my leg. And this is the second set, 15 reps. And you'll notice on, I think, the third and fourth set, I was a little bit off with my counting. And being a trainer, I'm accused of not knowing how to count all the time, that I miscount. And I think I just got carried away on some of them. And just, yeah, I was just getting into the set, I think. So here we're going up to 50 pounds. This is the third set. 15 reps. My reps dropped a little bit. And I could have done 20 reps probably, but again, I didn't want to push it. I figured since I was going heavier, you know, I'll just drop the reps down to 15. And still, you know, I still wanted to see how I was going to feel the next day. Make sure that I wasn't putting any pressure where I didn't need to be, or where you know, where it bothered my knee. And I didn't feel my knee at all. My knee doesn't hurt. The only thing with my knee, it hurt in the beginning when it happened, and then after it felt better, then it just felt really unstable. And actually, you know, I said this was my second workout in a year. That's not true, because I think I did one leg workout back in June or July, when I thought I was going to try to come back. And my knee was really unstable then. I remember I had to prop myself up against, because it was a workout outside by the horses, and I propped my leg up against something so I could lift one leg up to stretch or something like that. So it was really unstable back then still. So it's gotten a lot better. It doesn't hurt. It just, I think I tend to favor it a little bit. See, and this is what I mean. I did 17 reps here instead of 15. I got carried away. But I notice with my my knee and my shoulder. So it's my right knee and my left shoulder that I tend to favor it. I think because I'm just being careful and I don't want to hurt it. I noticed when I did some upper body stuff that my left shoulder, like for burpees, going down in the push-up position, I kind of shifted my weight to the right to move away from my shoulder that was injured. And I think that's just, I know that it's been hurt, and I think it's just, kind of just easing back into it. And during this workout, I was really paying attention to staying even in my body from left to right, like when I was pushing, like not letting my left side take over from my right side, because I noticed with this too, like letting myself down, I'd kind of shift my weight to the left away from my right knee. So I just really, that's kind of why I stayed lighter too, because I just really want to pay attention and make sure that I'm pushing even on both sides, and that I don't get in the habit of favoring that leg when I train. And I think this is the fourth set here. This was the 50 pounds again. 15 reps. Or actually, this might have been 14 reps, I forget. And then this set, I really got carried away. I did 19. I don't know how I got 19. Well, I think I do, because I try to get different angles for you guys, and I was moving, and I think I kind of like lose track of my counting. But I noticed on these too, when I go down, you can't see it in this angle right here, but my right knee was kind of doing something weird, and that's just that. I think it's just getting the strength back. I know once I get the strength back, it'll feel better, and I won't have to focus so much on what I'm doing. And I did 4 sets of leg curls. First set, 20 pounds, 10 reps. Actually, all 3 sets were the same. Yeah, or 4 sets. All 4 sets were the same. I only filmed three sets. I don't know what happened to the 4th set. But this is the propped up version, and the propped up version is, I think it's a more focused hamstring curl. And I'm going to have a little tip in here on this one, and then I'm going to make another video that's going to be a little bit more detailed on a tip for this exercise here. This video is kind of long, so I didn't want to make it too long by adding in a detailed tip. But when you're propped up like this, you're thinking of keeping your hips down. You want to press your hips down into the pad is what you're thinking of when you're doing these. And don't forget to stretch in between, especially if your hamstrings feel tight. This is the 2nd set here, so you'll see this from a different angle. But you have yourself propped up, and once you get your hips set into the pad, you want to try not to let your hips move. You want to try to keep them as still as possible. I think on any exercise that you're doing where you're really trying to focus on just one muscle, you want to lock yourself into position and try to have as little motion in your body as possible. So on this exercise, really the thing that you want to think of is the only thing that should be moving is like from your knee down to your foot. Everything else you're trying to keep locked into place. And just pull from your hamstring. So the tip's getting ready to come up here. And this is the same angle that we just saw on these first 2 reps. These are correct. So watch my hips and butt. So I have myself locked into place. My hips aren't moving very much, right? I'm trying to push them down into the pad. and I'm really trying to pull with my hamstrings. And where you tend to lose it is like when you get towards the top of the motion, which you'll see right here. These reps aren't right, and your butt wants to come off the pad. It wants to lift. So your lower back sways and your hips come away from the pad. Your butt goes up in the air. And when you do that, sometimes people feel pressure in their back, but also it's like it's taken away from that top part of your hamstring. That's just showing that that part is weak. And when you're doing these and your form's supposed to be strict, it could be a sign that you're just using too much weight. Now I'm going to adjust my hips here. I'm going to lock everything into place. Now these reps are going to be right. So you'll see the difference if you go back and watch too. You'll see the difference where my butt's not lifting up in the air and my back's not swaying. My back's locked into place. I'm thinking of a neutral spine, and I'm thinking of keeping my hips down and really pulling from my hamstrings. So this is the third set. You can see this from a different angle now. I took off my top so you could see how my hips aren't moving, and I'm just really trying to keep it all on the hamstring, especially at the top. As your feet come up, it gets harder to keep it in your hamstring. So in order to develop that part of your hamstring, you might want to go lighter and just really focus when you get to the top. Natural reaction is your butt's going to want to lift and you want to push it into the pad. So when you push it into the pad and just pull with your hamstrings harder, you're going to get that part of your hamstring that's weak. The reason your butt comes up like that is because that part of your hamstring is weak. So this is the explanation of how I work the different parts of my calves. So you're going to have a slight bend in your knee, and you want to try to keep that bend throughout the motion. So the only part that you're rotating from is from your ankles. You're letting your heels drop, and got to adjust my feet here. You're letting your heels drop and your toes come up. Now I'm showing this is working the outer head of the calf. See how I'm pushing up and my knees are going out. But I'm keeping that bend in my knee. So I'm not moving from my knee. That's locked into place. So that stays there, and I'm just rotating from my ankle. So I rotate on the balls of my feet as to what part of the calf I want to work. So if you have a hard time keeping that knee bent and not wanting to do a squat when you're doing these, you can brace yourself with your hands to keep that bend in place so you don't move that. So I did 4 sets of calves, various foot positions, and this first set is focused on the inner calf. And what I do is I spread my feet just a little farther apart and I prop my knees together. And when I prop my knees together like that, it helps me to keep my focus on the ball of my foot. So the right where the ball of my foot is, on the inside of my foot, that's where I'm putting all the pressure. And with my knees in like that, it helps me to keep that pressure there. But if you try it, you're gonna feel the inside of your calf. So you just think you shift the weight to the inside of your feet when you push up, and it hits the inner part of the calf. And I learned this from Roger Stewart. He was a bodybuilder back in the 80s. He had huge calves, and this is how he got his calves big. And I used to have really weak calves, and it really helped me with my calves. Okay, now this is for the outer calf, and my feet are a little bit closer together, and I'm going to come up and I'm going to turn my knees out. So I'm pushing up, and when I get to the top, I turn my knees out to shift the focus to the outside of my foot. So on the bottom of my foot, when I get to the top, I'm pushing to the outside of my foot, and that hits the outer part of your calf. So you kind of go down straight and you come up and push out. You come up and push out. And sometimes you have to adjust your feet during a set, like if they feel like they're sliding off the platform, it's okay to stop and adjust. These are my burns here. So I did 70 pounds, 15 reps with 5 burns on all the sets. And the third set is going to focus on the whole calf. So the whole calf is just keeping even pressure all the way across your foot. So from the ball of your foot all the way to the outside of your foot. Your knees are still bent. And the way that I feel like when your knees are bent like this, you're getting more of your whole calf than when you do these with a straight leg. When you do them with a straight leg, from my experience, you're working more of the gastrocnemius, which is the heart-shaped muscle on the back. When your legs are bent, like when you're doing a seated calf, you're working more of the soleus muscle, which is underneath the gastrocnemius, which gives you the width. So when you have your knees slightly bent on an exercise like this, it helps you to work the whole calf. So I think you just get more bang for your buck. I'm a more bang for your buck person, so I like to try to get the most out of whatever I'm doing. And here you can see from a different angle, this is for inner calves. And knees are bent, knees are together. My focus is I'm pushing up on the inside of my foot. So right on the ball of my foot is where all the pressure is, and my focus is on the inside of my calf. Now I'm going to switch to the knees out, which is the outer calf. So you can see it from this angle where I come up and push out. Come up and push out. I'm rotating the weight to the outside of my foot at the very top on the contraction. So I'm getting that outer part of my calf. That squeeze is on the outer part. Knees still stay bent. They stay in the same direction, but see how they rotate out too when I get to the top. So this is the last part here. This is straight. So this is getting the whole calf, even pressure all the way across the bottom of my foot, and I'm coming up straight. And that was it for calves. Don't forget to stretch. And notice here, you want to keep your legs straight and you want to push your butt in. If you let your knee bend, you're not going to get the same stretch. And if you let your butt stick out towards the back, you're not going to get the same stretch. You want to keep your knees straight and you want to push your butt in. And if you look at my foot, if that's too much of a stretch, you can find something that's a little bit lower, so the stretch isn't as intense. But the higher you have your toes and the more you push your butt in, the more intense the stretch is going to be. So that was basically my workout for the 23rd. I haven't done a full workout like in the gym, a leg workout in the gym since this workout. I've done a glute workout. I've done a couple boot camp workouts, which those will probably be coming up next. I just did one a couple days ago out in the pasture where the horses were. It was with the tire and the battle ropes, and it was a really good workout. I got really sore from that. I was surprised. I did 10 rounds of that, and I did it for time. And then I did an extra 4 to 5 rounds going in shooting close-ups for you guys. So I'll probably edit those in the workout. So I did probably about 14 or 15 sets total for that. And my lats, my triceps, my chest, not my legs so much, but yeah, my upper body got pretty sore, so I was happy with that. So those are going to be coming next. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time, okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.